All right, so I want to talk about the architecture for the IoT application, and then go over kind of what we have, what we're trying to build towards, and kind of like the ideas. Uh, so over here, we've got devices, and then those devices. What we have is we've got an Azure IoT Hub. So this is app Azure IoT Hub. And then these devices are going to publish messages on the hub, and they're also going to receive commands via topics onto this Azure IoT Hub. Then what we have is we've got a Azure function. That is listening to messages. This is going to be the event. So this is the event processor. Event processor. So this is going to be listening and dropping message commands onto the Azure IoT Hub on different topics for the device ID. And then down here, we've got a computer, and we've just got a front end. Here's our users, a happy user, super excited. We've got an Angular, just a web app, so a web app, and we don't have it yet, but mobile. Just a mobile, the client UI, basically. So we got our devices posting events onto here. We've got an Azure function, and then we've got a web API. A web API here. And then the app is going to interact with the web API here. And then in between, currently, we've got our data source, which is a SQL Server. This is for configuration, and it's for configuration and then aggregated views of device event messages. So there's this concept called a materialized view. So this is how it works. So these devices are going to publish events like GPS, like location events. They're going to publish maybe temperature events, status events. Their devices are going to publish these, and where they're going to be on the Azure IoT Hub. And then this Azure function is we have some configuration in this database that's going to say, hey, the users or the clients care about this data coming in, and they want it in this certain way, so it's going to massage the data, and it's going to put it in this SQL Server for the interaction with the user. And then eventually we're also going to have like alerts and all kinds of things, but right now we just have it's basically, this app is just a mapping IoT application, and that's what we have. What I'm working on and what I really want to figure out, and I've seen other Azure or other IoT platforms have, is, so this is basically our application, like the application. A client can create, I want them to be able to create a client's Azure IoT Hub. So the client has their own actual IoT Hub. And the idea is, so they own their data from the devices. So their devices primarily are going to pump messages onto their IoT Hub. And then I want to have it where, and I think there's a couple ways, but I want to have it where this IoT Hub drops messages onto mine and vice versa for commands here. So like this the below this dotted line is our application. Our application is below this, and so we plug in to their IoT hub, their data source. We plug in, so it's like we're going to, like, they own the data, they own their event messages when they have this, which is our application. Oh, I just drew on it. The application, we just plug into this based on maybe shared access policies, and a Azure and a Func, or I'm looking into Event Grid, Azure Event Grid. And then, so basically they would just be, their devices would have to know the shape of the events to drop on their client event hub, but that's what our application helps with. So that's what we're actually helping with that. And then to take it even a step further, so this is client Azure IoT Hub. What if we also want to very easily be able to support a client MQTT broker? Client MQTT broker. So that means that's another very possible thing. So I want to have it where we get this client MQTT broker. It will drop messages onto this, or events onto the application IoT hub. So again, here's our application, and then above the dotted line is the outside world, the client's world. They own this data and this pipeline above this line. So we would just hook into their data pipeline. So either client Azure IoT Hub, client MQTT broker. There's also more, like I want to have a native things network. Things network integration, and then I also want to have Helium integration. But basically how the gist is, we make this nice rich application, which currently is just a highly specific mapping IoT platform. We are going to make this really rich nice app. We're going to plug into our customers' data pipelines, whether it's their own IoT hub, whether it's their client MQTT broker, whether it's their native things network integration. And what's nice, and I've seen this on other IoT platforms, is once you get into these two, and these you can buy devices off the shelf that already have a things network integration, and then ideally these integrations would be added with little like just like adding some keys and shared access policy information, but like low code, get it so these integrations plug into our nice app. So yeah, that's the gist of the IoT application on the back end. Would love feedback. If you have any feedback, just let me know. Later.